Hey guys, tonight I have a new release for you. It is Kenzo Homme Indigo. Brand new purchase, brand new release. Let's get it open. Let's get into it. Hey guys, welcome back. So yeah, I have the brand new Kenzo Homme Indigo. Has not been opened yet. I wanted to wait until I was here and able to review it in front of you guys. I'm very excited for this one. The last Kenzo Homme fragrance that I reviewed was Santal Moran, which was a limited edition. It was released last summer in 2024. As far as that one goes, I don't think it was ever actually released worldwide. It was supposed to have been, but I don't know. For whatever reason, it was extremely hard to find in North America. Only a couple of gray market sellers that I know of were selling Santal Moran in the United States. In Europe, it was a little bit easier to find, but still not a widely available fragrance. This one here, though, Kenzo Homme's Indigo, the newest release from the Kenzo Homme line, is, as far as I know, just a regular release. And it's so new, it was only released officially a few months ago here in Europe. So all of the major perfumeries in Europe here are carrying it now. So I think it's safe to say that it's only a matter of time before the same places in the United States start carrying it as well. Now, the line itself, at least the newer releases, are known for their inclusion of Akigala wood, which is a synthetic fragrance note. It's made to smell basically like a really spicy, woody patchouli. But yeah, one thing is for certain, the Akigala wood note itself can be a little bit polarizing. It smells a little bit weird, to be completely honest with you. I myself am a fan of it. I think it adds a really interesting twist to lines like this, Kenzo Homme, which, at the end of the day, is supposed to be an aquatic fragrance line, fragrances based around the smell of the ocean, more or less. Now, yeah, Akigala wood, very interesting, something that you might not expect to find in aquatic fragrances. And honestly, the Kenzo Homme line, these are very, very distinct. So for example, Kenzo Homme Eau de Parfum, very leathery, very Akigala wood rich aquatic fragrance. Kenzo Homme line does aquatics in a very warm and, like I said, in a way that reminds me of like the Southeast Asian part of the world as opposed to the Mediterranean part of the world, if that makes any sense to you. Like a lot of times people, when they think of aquatic fragrances, Dolce & Gabbana Light Blue Eau Intense, citrusy, salty, things like that make you think maybe of the Mediterranean. They're more uplifting and crisp. However, things like the Kenzo Homme line, definitely a spicy, tropical, Southeast Asian kind of vibe. That's what I get. Spoiler alert, I am a huge fan of this line. I think as far as designer aquatics, like they're some of the most interesting you can get, honestly. I think they're just really magical fragrances. My favorite ones so far, definitely the Santal Moran, the limited edition. But I also love the EDP and I love the Eau de Toilette Intense. They are very intense aquatic fragrances, but like I said, warm, fruity, spicy. And yeah, I can't wait to see if this one is going to be the same or different. I don't know. Let's get this unboxed. Okay, so the bottle design is the same as the other members of the line. This is the 60 ml version here. Although I noticed the color is different. The color is a nice indigo, kind of light-ish purple. And the bottle has a really almost rubberized matte finish. Okay, super solid feel. I love this here. It's got the Kenzo Homme bottle style, which is designed to look like a katana slashed bamboo stick, diagonal katana slash in the top here. Really cool looking. And the feeling itself, wow, this is so smooth. This is so cool. All right, interesting. Now let's get the sprays out of the way here. Okay, let's see. Good atomizer, strong atomizer. Okay, right away, absolutely, I can tell it's a Kenzo Homme fragrance. You can get that spicy patchouli, aquatic feel, the dark, kind of sweet, sensual aquatic feel that's present in most of the members of... Whoa. Okay. Leather. There's a smooth leather in this. This is a smooth leather aquatic. Wow. Right off the bat, it reminds me a little bit of the EDP. So the EDP, very intense leather fragrance, very, very spicy, fruity because of that Akigala wood, but with a dark leather backdrop. And again, with some of that aquatic, synthetic calypsone. I'm referring to the EDP. But yeah, okay, this indigo right off the bat reminds me of that EDP. So definitely a smooth leather. There's a very smooth, almost like suede-like leather in the opening of this, mixed with that Akigala wood. So the Akigala wood and the leather, definitely the first two things I notice. Let's get another spray here. Great atomizer, by the way. Okay, yeah, that's smooth leather. Really, really nice so far. Now this one here, it does definitely smell more aquatic to me than other members of this line. Like the EDP, for example, when I first smelled that for the first few months while I was using it, I was trying to think to myself, like, this doesn't smell aquatic to me. Like, how is this supposed to smell aquatic? But I was honestly looking at things through a narrow point of view. In my mind, back then, when I thought of aquatic fragrances, like I said, I was thinking of like citrus, salty, ambroxan-rich, Mediterranean-inspired aquatics, you know? And honestly, it was the Kenzo Homme line that kind of opened my mind to that whole idea of tropical aquatic style fragrances. All that said, this one here definitely has an aquatic, a more traditionally aquatic touch to it than the other members of this line, right off the bat at least, mixed with that really smooth leather. And of course the Akigala wood. Now the Akigala wood is there, doesn't seem maybe quite as intense as it is in other members of the line, notably the Eau de Toilette Intense and the Eau de Parfum. Ooh, this is super solid. Super solid. I am getting definitely some reminders of Santal Marin. Stronger, right off the bat. It's a stronger scent profile. And also a stronger performer right off the bat than Santal Marin. Later on, we'll see if this reaches the intensity of the Eau de Parfum and the Eau de Toilette Intense. Don't know if it will. Those are some really strong fragrances. So far, though, this seems quite promising in the performance department. Okay, so the leather is becoming more apparent now. The leather's definitely becoming more apparent, stronger. In Santal Marin, for example, it was more of like a suede leather, lightish, kind of smooth leather. In the EDP, it was a darker leather. If I could put it simply right now, the leather in particular in Indigo here reminds me of, like, in terms of intensity, somewhere between the Santal Marin and the Eau de Parfum. It's definitely there, but I wouldn't say it's as strong as it is in the Eau de Parfum, and it's definitely smoother, not quite as dark, but still definitely apparent. Now, as far as the iris, this is supposed to contain iris. That was the huge, selling point about this fragrance. I don't get a whole ton of iris, at least not right now. Let's get another spray out of this. That Akigala wood, yeah. Maybe a little bit of calypsone. Is there a touch of calypsone there to add like a salty watermelon? Possibly. Something kind of fruity, maybe a little bit salty. Leather, yeah. Leather's getting more and more noticeable here. But it's smooth, but strong. Like, it's definitely noticeable. Okay, now I'm starting to get a little bit of that iris. But I'm curious as to which direction this iris is going to take. Is it going to go powdery, Like, for example, Dior Homme Parfum? Is it going to go more, I don't know, spicy and kind of refreshing the way it is in like Prada L'Homme L'Eau, for example? Or is it going to go in a more woody ambrette style? To my nose, right off the bat here, the iris in this does not go in that powdery direction. It might be a little bit early to say, but I have a feeling this is going to be one of those really woody, concentrated irises, like ambrette, the ambrette note. So iris, you know, it has that kind of, I don't know, makeup-y kind of characteristic that iris is known for, but the ambrette goes more in a woody, solid, kind of like a compressed powder, if that makes any sense. Always, when I smell ambrette, I get like a concentrated pressed powder. That's the image that comes into my head. So yeah, I have a feeling that this is going to go more in ambrette direction, like a very woody iris. That's the vibe I'm getting right now. Okay, it's been about 25 minutes and I'm really liking the smell so far. I am thoroughly enjoying what I'm smelling so far. The leather that started off kind of prominent is kind of starting to settle down a little bit now. That Kenzo Homme DNA, like a mixture of that Akigala wood, calypsone, and other aquatic synthetic notes are becoming more prominent at this point. The iris is there, but like not a powdery iris. This is like I said, it's one of those very woody irises. In fact, it reminds me more of ambrette than it does like a typical iris note. Anyway, we'll see if that changes after I've been wearing this for several weeks. I will be giving this a full review eventually. This is super solid. This is super solid. So I think at this point I'm getting a little bit of sandalwood. And the sandalwood reminds me more of like the Australian type. So it's like, it reminds me of like a polished wood. It's not quite as smooth and buttery and soft as Mysore sandalwood is. This is more of the type, it's like a polished wood, maybe even slightly boozy, if that makes any sense. That Australian type of sandalwood brings my mind in that direction. So anyway, to put this in summary, just after my brief wearing here altogether, I've been wearing this like for almost 45 minutes. Really solid, really enjoying it. It does definitely remind me of other members of the Kenzo Homme line. Specifically, I do get some of that Santal Marin, suede leather characteristic, although there's no lavender in this, and I don't think there's any guaiac wood in this. There's nothing that really jumps out as smoky to me. Now, there is a leather, and the leather mixed with that sandalwood can sometimes create a smoke-like veil. And maybe I get some of that in this. But anyway, the point I'm trying to make is it definitely reminds me of Santal Marin, but more concentrated, less aromatic. It definitely reminds me of the EDP, although the leather in this one, not quite as intense, not quite as dark. The Akigala wood fruitiness in this Indigo is a little bit toned down compared to the Eau de Parfum. The Calypsone is turned down significantly compared to the Eau de Parfum and the Eau de Parfum and the Eau de Toilette Intense, rather. And the sandalwood is definitely present. And like I said, that ambrette / iris is there as well. Super solid fragrance. See, I didn't really put that into a very, very easy to understand summary. The order of notes that I get from strongest to weakest, definitely, I'm going to say the Akigala wood, the leather, and then I'm going to say the Calypsone, and then the iris or ambrette, and then the sandalwood. Now, keep in mind, I haven't been wearing this super extensively, so these thoughts could change as time goes on. But right now, I am impressed. Super solid purchase. Paid 45 euros for the 60 ml bottle. It was worth it. By the way, it seems like it's going to be a much stronger fragrance than Santal Marin, which honestly I didn't think was a weak fragrance, but it definitely didn't reach the intensity of Eau de Parfum or the Eau de Toilette Intense. This Indigo seems like it's going to be stronger, definitely, than the Santal Marin. Anyway, as of right now, I can't tell you anything about availability outside of Europe. I know right now all the major retailers are carrying this here in Europe. It'll just be a matter of time until the same thing happens in the US. But as far as like finding this on discounters, definitely we're going to have to wait a while for that, as per usual. But I'm going to say right off the bat, if you're a fan of the Kenzo Homme line already, you're going to like this one. Although this is a little bit, I want to say a little bit more mature. It feels also a little bit more rounded compared to other members, but still same DNA. And the leather in this, the way the leather combines with that ambrette to give it that woody, very concentrated, kind of dense, powdery, makeup-y characteristic, really interesting here. It's really nice. I'm not going to say it's the most unique fragrance ever. I mean, by itself, this DNA, this Akiala Wood Kenzo Homme DNA, I think it's quite unique. But this, like as a member of the Kenzo Homme line, I'm not going to say it's like overly unique. It kind of takes bits and pieces of other members and combines them. But that combination is spectacular so far. So I'm going to say if you like that DNA, I think you should consider picking this one up. But definitely, as always, sample beforehand. But I'm super impressed, and I can't wait to wear this for the next few days, few weeks, and give it a full review. Anyway, guys, I'm going to take off for now. I hope you've enjoyed this initial first impression of Kenzo Homme Indigo. Have you tried this one? Where are you located? Anyway, guys, until next time, keep it real.